and see if anyone will join in. If not, see if any see if anyone got any questions real quick over this. It's kind of early. I don't know what time it is. 4:21. And if not, we'll do something later. Let's just question real quick, just because we're kind of beyond stuff right now. Beyond. Touch base on some stuff a little later too. Hey Gloria, thanks for checking in. Haven't heard from you in a bit because it's just been a bunch of, nonsense. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for checking in. So if anyone got any questions, but, I got questions too. I got to clear the air on some stuff too. So, going through this, every day. Yeah, I've been dealing with a lot too, actually. I'm doing good though. I hope you're doing good. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been dealing with a lot too. That's kind of like, something you might notice with people too who choose to speak on this stuff. Every day, you're not gonna look the same. There's, you know how that is. You don't need to explain that to anyone. So I'm pretty sure you can. A lot. I could get into so much. I was really about to break down a little more about how this started, and why certain topics, about this arise on my channel too. You hear people use these words, and they're just words to me, but things like handler, things like, and all these words. So we're just trying to break down stuff like that right now, and we're trying to just kind of find a, and I'm not. This isn't something for everyone to just, to just, talk about what happened to them, which you can, feel free to ask any questions, but to kind of just break down, our side of this too, and to kind of just, come clean about some stuff, because you don't want the, the right people getting the wrong idea, so it's kind of stuff like that. But I don't know, I know you briefly kind of explained how, the things you go through, but, how it started is something that I know is a, important thing to speak about when you're trying to, we can sit here and say, oh, I got the proof all day and stuff like that, but I believe I know who mine is. That's the thing. I'm pretty sure I know who mine is, but those are all just words. I think, yeah, and then that's when, they try to, and, even saying, like, I'm trying to not even say things like they, but there will be situations unfold. That I'm going to start wording stuff differently. There will be situations that unfold where you're wondering what is going on right now. I always wondered who the handler is in my case. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I know who mine is, though. If it's even like that term. The internet played like that's what I was going back to. Starting points. The internet played such a big role in this. Yeah, and just weird things you'll notice. That kind of goes along the lines of like the phone spoofing thing, where that happened to me a couple of times. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. But I think that's one thing that They kind of just, individuals will feed off you just speaking about the negative stuff, you know? They'll feed off, like, that's where I'm kind of coming from at this point. And I really, like, appreciate you just being so open and just, you know, shouting out just little things that you notice too, you know? But on my side of it, is like, I almost kind of believe, like, obviously they're, you know, viewing people differently and just like coming up with different ways to kind of say different things, because you know how they'll like treat people, even some of us who are going through the same thing, differently still. So it makes you wonder, and then act like, well, this isn't real and stuff, but it's like, that's literally what you're doing. They don't even unconsciously know they're doing that. Like, the word is so broad. This word is so broad. So the ones who are trying to debate like it's not real, they unconsciously don't even know they're doing that. They're watching, and they're literally telling you that while trying to tell you they're not doing that, or trying to, and then just debate it by using words. You know, and that's why I'm sitting here not caring about the way I look. I'm in a bad mood, a real bad mood, in an awful mood, like some you shouldn't be on the internet mood. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people would be like, yeah, let's not get on the internet right now. Let me wait till I feel better type stuff. But I don't care, because this is just proof that it's real. Not even someone being willing to come up here and do this, but no, it's just proof. Yeah, they just unconsciously don't know. That's the thing. That's just the way it is. You know, that's when we get into things like, you know, the whole spiritual versus technology thing, where they will use the Google, they will use all that stuff to try to debate against you and say that it's not real. While the minute that they're done doing that, here they are coming up with their own assumptions. They're not conclusions, they're not even a hypothesis. It's an assumption based upon the way you be looking and talk about things about, oh, your eyes and stuff. Yeah. So, and you're right. And we're beyond it too. That's the thing. Notice how, you know, I'll keep saying things like, oh, we're over it, but you know, here they are back again and stuff like that. But we are beyond it. Yeah, it is. Later, I was gonna speak on, you know, mental disabilities that they try to categorize you in it with, like dissociative identity disorder. That's something I've spoke on before, you know. And but anyway, it's a good thing if everyone's just kind of just focusing on, you know, what they're doing and taking care of your own stuff too, though. You know, I think it's important. And a lot of the stuff they're doing right now is just a distraction, especially on the internet. And you notice like how they're willing to, like, it's just really weird. It's just weird. People you've never seen. See, yeah, and just that's just interesting, you know, especially as you continue to develop and kind of just, you know, start to do your own thing or whatever, you know, and focus on things you need to take care of. You'll just see just people pop out of nowhere and then try to like mention like other um it's just a big old categorization thing. At the end of the day, you're just kind of wondering, what are you kind of doing, you know? Yeah. See, and they can't, like, I'm trying to figure out how they can do that. How can you just talk out of your mouth just saying, oh, this person has that, and it's like, no, you're not diagnosed with it, you know? You know, you don't have any of that. So a big part of this on my end, because you know, a lot of people choose to actually dig deeper and call, what do you call it, these companies or these agencies to see, you know, what's going on. And there's been people who've gotten paperwork and they've filed complaints and stuff like that. But at this point, I believe like time plays a really big role in this because once you're speaking about it, like, it's over. Actually, it's over. You know, and then it starts to get delusional. Yeah, I don't know too. Yeah, I really don't even think about what they may be doing. I don't really think much about what other people are like actually doing. So I guess that's just kind of why I'm so weird about it. I just look at it differently. I believe it's a categorization tactic because you'll have certain individuals bringing race into it and stuff like that. And if it's something that we already know it's real, you know, and then you can kind of see through a lot of the stuff that they be do to act like it's not also. So we're just beyond that at this point. We're just beyond it. We're just beyond it. So I'm kind of waiting to see, you know, because we're really just beyond it at this point. But I want to see if anyone else is gonna hop in and add anything, and if not, yeah, just it's like patterns. It's about noticing patterns too. That's something I noticed. There's much more I want to add, but I'm gonna wait till it comes to me because obviously it's not coming to me right now. That's a good thing about just kind of going live, is you don't need to backtrack or anything. Or you don't need to finish like the video and be like, oh, I missed my point, you know. Well, let's see. I know I kind of came on a weird time right now, but I don't care. See if anyone has anything to add. See if there's anything else I could come from the top of my head, because that's where it turns into an actual illness, where you've already, trust me, you've already done the loop of just speaking on it, and this is just coming from the, you know, the one who's choosing to just make videos on it. That's where it becomes like a loop, and it can like actually. It depends. Yeah, it just kind of depends. Sometimes you can't allow them to get away with stuff though. You know, if it's an you know, it's just like a stupid it's at this, like, if it never went as far as like me even making a channel on it, it would have been something where I would have played it off as it not being real but while knowing it's real type thing, and just bringing awareness to it that way and just doing it a different way that way. That's how I would have did it if I could go back to it, because if you can see people doing the same thing right now while putting up with the same thing and you're getting the same result, then that's the cycle. So that's where I'm coming from. And then you look like the, you know, when you speak like that, then, you know, it's going to be a long time to see where people are, you know, if they understand where you're coming from. Especially if it looks kind of weird in the beginning, you know, then it's going to be hard for them to even want to, you know, kind of just, you know, put their like foot in the water and see if, you know, but yep, the starting point to this was the pandemic. 100%. 100%. You know, but I don't see because I was expecting a troll to come in, and I shouldn't even be talking about them, but that's kind of why I came on here. Yeah, at some point, I'm pretty sure we've all wondered that. You know, every day there's a difference that could be made, though. You know, that's one thing I'm starting to realize. That's kind of what I was going back to before. Is, yeah, I try not to do the what if thing, but if it were a situation where, man, if I had what I knew right now, went back to 2019. Oh my gosh, yeah, the world, like, bro. And just you, for me to say that, and for you to be here watching, then that would mean you would play a role too. So it means you, something you're doing is making a big difference in the world. That's why, you're wondering you. There's something you're doing. It's just who you are. There's something. It's like and it's easy to see it, especially when these terms like organized mobbing, which could be something that happens before that this happens. But if it's something that happens after that, you're already going through this, you're able to see through that easier than ever. Yeah, exactly. We are the things that they just don't want to believe. Like, it's kind of like that. It's almost like are you really saw the truth to something at one point. It's like a glitch. It's like a glitch. There could have been some people who experienced things and it wasn't actually supposed to turn out positive. It was, or vice versa. A lot of this is just, it's almost like an extreme glitch, like an unbalanced kind of thing. Like, you're unbalanced from, how like in math they talk about the mean, median, and the mode. It's like you're unbalanced. You're not in the median. You're not in the median, you're not in the mean. You're like the range, because they have the range, and then the range, you're like the lopsided range, kind of. It's like that. It's weird. A lot of stuff going on right now. I think everyone's kind of getting out of school. Wait and see if anyone's checking in, or just gonna kind of wait and see if they want to comment on it later. Is probably what they're gonna do, and just use the way you look as an excuse and stuff like that to try to act like it's not real. So, you know. In a shitty mood. So the good news is it'll be easier to do these. Oh wow. And that's a real small state too. You don't hear much about that state. Actually, you did hear some things about that state a couple months back. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. A lot of people are right now. A lot of people are. It's gotta be grateful. Grateful for what you have, and then tomorrow put forth something. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. Speaking on this stuff, and it's tough even being a supporter of being a viewer of someone. There might be some things that catch you off guard, or you might kind of drift away and not really understand where they're coming from months beyond. But I completely understand everything you're saying. Yeah, same here. Same here. So the good news is I'm pretty sure anyone who's come across some of the vids on here, just due to like there not being the type of comments that you may expect from someone who's like, at this point everyone knows that it's real. So we're definitely past that. We're past responding to the trolls and all that, because they just can't even at this point. Of course you wouldn't. And we know that there's so many people going through it too. You know, just this itself, being as real as it can get. You know, when you're just discussing this stuff is important too. You know, that way they just the stupid delusions when you're trying to bring it. You know, the stupid delusions. What do you mean? Give me an example. Will it be like a situation that happens yesterday and then like something tomorrow is like it's like a glitch? We got our boy joining. Prove it. Or are we just gonna look at the way people look? Okay, so what gave you the qualification to say that? That's weird. It's like an automated thing, man. It's like an automated message. Notice how they can't say anything to debunk what you're saying though. They'll just come up with their own narrative and use words that other people created for them. You know, so a lot of these people don't have their own mind. You know, you gotta keep that in mind. You know, and I'm not someone who opposes books. I'm not someone who opposes studies. I'm not someone who opposes no, it's not true. You know, I read a bunch of books. I probably, you know, not lately, especially when things like this happen, because you see a lot of things that are in books are lies, man. You know, you don't debunk at all. Actually, you didn't debunk me at all. You know, so you guys got to keep that in mind. You know, and that's, you know, I'm willing to do that. You know, for us to actually have a discussion so we can learn something. But in terms of the whole teammate thing, and you know, having other people do their part and try to make it look stupid, you need better actors or something like that, man. Because that stuff is weird. Yeah, you know, and listen, I don't even go as far as I haven't even done that, you know, and that's a good thing to do, you know, if you're getting other people's stuff, but I haven't. All I know is that it's real. All I know is that people would be using categorization tactics and then put these words on the thing. No, you are the evidence. I don't need to. You're looking at the evidence. Duh, like you're watching it right now. And if you're watching, and this is gonna create the thing that we spoke on before, where you want to speak about, oh, it has nothing to do with frequency and energy, and you want to, man, if you want to get scientific right now, you know. But then the minute that we actually start going there, the minute we actually start going to your lane, the lane you should be better than at me than you, and no, don't be cussing, and it better not be no cuss stuff. Okay, we can do that later. But, and getting into things like that, I had a good point. Talking about the evidence. This is evidence. You watching this right now is evidence. Okay? No, that has nothing to do with it though. Okay? I know you have. Okay? Listen, I even gave people kudos and been like, yeah, I ain't been on the internet. Okay? But what this is about is it's real and it's a categorization tactic. Because if not, it wouldn't be a script. It wouldn't be a script where you're already using these what do you call it? Already using these words that were made for you. And that's what that's all about. So, you know, these are words that they're going to take from all these psychologists who already made these books, and notice how all they do is give new additions. They give new additions based upon new energies that are found and stuff like that. Okay? So, and that's all it is. And what is really amazing is to know that if someone who is intelligent enough to know that you can refer to all these books and, you know, to all these citations, and this person is on this person's stuff, Okay? And then not only that, we already have all these agencies over here that do their role. Okay? And that's not to make no paranoid and stuff like that, but that's just what it is. That's what the whole bigger thing is. And you guys right now are seeing a small version of it right now. That's what it is. It's not about, oh, you don't show no evidence. No, you are looking at the evidence. This is the evidence. Okay? And we'll get to that here, but this isn't to distract the actual live. I'm not trying to even, you know, get heated right now. Okay? But that's all that's all about. Okay? That's you know. Yep. And just, you know, even when you're, you know, looking into things and reading things, those are all just words, but you look at the actual flow of the way things are going. And that's what's going on right now. It's a pattern sequence. They don't understand that. It's awareness and a pattern sequence. And I'm trying not to get technical. I don't want to get technical in this one and even speak about how and make it a debate, even though, you know, and speak about, oh, well, this has nothing to do with it. Well, okay, but how come these numbers are a representation of you then? And you're willing to accept that. You're willing to accept that, but you can't accept that this is real. Come on, man. It's almost like reversing those numbers in a sequence. Other than that, and I don't even mean to get into any of that, because then people like to use words. This is categorization, bro. This is categorization when they say things like, oh, and just based upon the way he looks right now, and the way he's explaining it, and where he even got the comprehension skills to kind of speak like this, that's new age now. Yet, you can't just imagine putting one person into a big old categorization pot, but that's just one person who's not even in that category. So it doesn't work like that. And I don't even, this phone, I can't even, this is the phone where I got my stuff on, but I can't even break down, you know, because a lot of these people who be debating you, they got some good computers and stuff like that, you know, and you, that's proof that you are the thing, though. That's what it is. It has nothing to do about anything else. You can't, a lot of people who claim this whole TI thing, you can't even categorize them in that. Because other than that, how come, you know, people can't even, you know, see eye to eye with some stuff, you know? And then this is where we get the wide range of people who come from backgrounds of religion, the wide range of people who come from backgrounds of, you know, all sorts of things. Yet they're both, you know, explaining, and they're both speaking about gang stalking. So it's about understanding the evidence of, you know, your situation. I'm not looking at, you know, this is, you know, and I'm appreciating everyone and everywhere they come from, but I'm not looking at someone's situation and what they're going through and making it seem like that's going to be the end point for me. No. You have a life. It's up to you. And this is where we get into the psychological self-reflection nonsense that they do on the platforms with this stuff. And you can't let it like get to you and stuff like that, with like weird comments and stuff that a lot of people put up with. So you'll even have some people who want to leave stuff, and they might be going through the same thing, but then they're questioning, oh, well, how come this and that, and are you, and then now it's a side-eye thing, and it always becomes this whole side-eye thing, and that's what people try to do. Like, people just feed off that. This whole gang stalking nonsense is just some feeding off. You see it. You see it right now. It's clear as day. So from now on, this got nothing to do about the way someone looks. I don't give a shit about that. From now on, this stuff has nothing to do about the way someone looks, and oh, this is the reason that that you have this and that. Yet, no, bro, what are you talking about, man? This shit clear as day. So we can go ahead and go beyond that now, and then just make something out of it. And for those who want to keep on being here and sitting, pretend to be blind to the fact, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. We'll shut up. We won't talk about it, but we'll show you it, though. You know? Man, it wasn't even supposed to get to that. I was supposed to talk about, you know, just kind of just how you even landed in this situation, man. It was a lot. It's your life, you know? It's a categorization tactic. It's your life. So even if you're going to be categorizing this as some, you know, for a phase of time, you don't have to make it this whole, you know, everyday sorrow stuff. You don't have to make it that. That's the point of this stuff. You don't have to make it that. We're not gonna have it that, yo. We're not gonna have it, oh, and every day is just this whole just, no, bro, you know. But I know people going through it. I know people going through it. You know? So, and it's, yeah, you know, and I'm gonna probably just, every time we speak on this, I'm gonna just start going, just do it live then. If there's even reasons to speak on it anymore, because, you know, the stuff they use, they can't use over here. They can't use all that stuff. That's one thing that these people who, you know, the ones who pretend to be blind to the fact, and even those who don't know, the things that bother them, they think it bothers you, and they can't get past that. It's not. Okay, so those are all just words. Go ahead and break down what about that is that. Okay, if you're a real debater and everything you're sticking through what you're saying, you know, you got to get more specific, okay? Because all that is a try to make something look like something tactic. It's a categorization tactic. Congrats. I'm gonna get it to you. Can I? What? Can you even add numbers on there? I'll get it to you, and we'll get this going. You know, and it's nothing. There's nothing to do about none. We're way beyond it. That's proof of the video right there. It's proof of the video right there. No, not on a live here. Okay. You know, because it's, you know, it's all categorization. You know, a lot of the people that be getting these interviews, a lot of the people who be on this stuff, these are people who don't. I'm beyond that. Okay, I'm beyond that, and people know that. That's why there were certain names not being thrown out in the beginning, and no one cares about that stuff either. Trust me. Screenshot that. I got you. But we're gonna be beyond all that stuff. But anyway, let me see. There's some more I gotta add to this because it's gonna get a little. I was speaking on what do you call it? Pyramid schemes, and how a lot of it has to do with like a pyramid scheme too. And I believe that there's a little pyramid scheme going on this platform, or even because I don't know nothing about TikTok or that stuff, but so it's hard to see how things work. But you can, the minute you see like the way the platform works, then that's when you can see through stuff. You can see a little bit of what's going on. Because why are you finding certain things at the time you find it? That played a big role too, of people, the separation between the pandemic. So people don't want to speak on that. Notice how all of that is just a distraction. All that's a distraction. External things that pop up out of nowhere and try to create other narratives to stir you away from what really needs to be spoken about. And for anyone, and for the right person who will catch that, see that later, will understand that. Because if you didn't understand that or comprehend that at that certain moment, you wouldn't even be here speaking about what you're speaking about. So it all comes down to choice too. How people are gonna sit here and try to debunk something that's real, but it all comes down to your choice, and there could be choice prevention stuff going on. That's what's going down too, you know. It's about dictation, and it's almost like freaking it's almost like gambling. Like, why do people say stuff like that? Yeah, it's like life's a game. So we can't sit here and argue that there ain't people out here who look different or they're coming across a different way. And then what's the only excuse we got? Oh, they're probably taking this, or oh, they're this word, and that's all categorization. If that's what you're gonna use to try to debunk what is being said, yet you didn't use anything to debunk what was said. So come on, like, we're way beyond that, bro. Like, You know what I'm saying? That's all categorization stuff. You see it. That's how all that started. That's where we're gonna be getting into. That's things we're gonna be getting into, because from now on, if there's individuals being studied, okay, well, there's gonna be new things that's gonna come about. That's got to be what it all comes down to, is the new way of going about things. Because what is even the starting point to new things arising, like new versions of companies and stuff like that? It's got to be what the title of the vid is. That's what it is. Because how come there's always such a thing as there even being a contest, or such a thing as there even being competition? There's a differential. That goes back to the mean, median, mode, and range thing. How there's a range in the numbers. Rank is like rank and position, and there's other people who choose to have a reason to reach a higher rank or position, so they got to come up with the concepts for that. And then if you do it in your own way, because some people, like people who try to debate and use books that were already written from another person's, the way they were thinking, right, and use that as some validation, when it's like, no, there's people who actually came up with their own way of doing something while in the same system and did it a better way. And there would have to be such a word as the word gangstalking. Especially when, because there would be no such thing as that, as someone even be able to break that down, and they had that, you know. And how would they be able to break that down? Because they saw it, they were so good to put up with it while having to go through, like, hell nah, bro. Yeah, easy, come on, easy. You can't categorize someone in a category that broad. You're gonna have to categorize better than that. So if people want to take the schizophrenic route, you're gonna have to find another word under that then, or something, or find, because you can't. That's too broad. That's too broad. Because it's clear that it's individuals who would even try to say someone would say something would be something like that on here wouldn't be on another person's thing who actually has that, because they're not in the same category. That's a failed categorization tactic. That's all that is. But yeah, we'll do the phone calls I spoke before about. Yep, and it ain't no delusion, yo. Especially when the proof be right there. The proof don't have to be the things that you guys try to categorize and proof as, oh, let me record this. No, that ain't my proof. My proof is this. My proof is you just gave me the proof. That's the proof. Okay. So if anyone else has anything, because it doesn't. And this will do more. This will do more. This isn't going to be the outcome or the response comments that people will expect, but it's going to be the push that was needed in a way where it won't look like it was like that, though. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes sometimes. It all just comes down to just you just gotta train yourself to be like, it's not even real. That's what I do. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we're over here using names, we're over here using the internet, and we're over here speaking our mind. But come on. There's a reason that there's people like coming from a whole different like angle on stuff, and it's not like you're not even intentionally doing that. That's who you are. Of course, that's gonna like agitate people who don't understand something. Of course, people are gonna try to watch something they don't understand. That's why things like this exist. No one is over here categorizing. You guys just saw a clear example of categorization tactic. That's what it is. Especially let me not even get into that, because so far I haven't spoke no delusion. So let me not even test that and try to even sound smart right now, because none of it is. It's all surface level. It's like a third grader can understand. And then that's the part where we get into it being a delusion, where people try to cause it to be a delusion and do this whole try to make things hidden and stuff. you know, and only let's only get this part of it. Let's only do that, you know, and that's all a categorization tactic. Dang, and if you know you're someone who's participating in that, man, that's when we start getting into differentials. That's when we start getting into why you hear people using all these words and doing all this stuff. 2019, that's a game changer. You know, we spoke on other, you know, and it's just amazing. You can't do that. I was shocked when someone would try to come on here and do that and try to say and use like these words even associated with this shit. I don't even like the words. Oh, you're this, and how come you got this? And it's like, you are, for you to even try to even use these words that you use on these other people who you can't even categorize on here. You have some nerve. No wonder no one takes anything you do seriously. It's like that, you know. So yeah, at this point, like, we're way beyond it. We're way beyond it. I'm gonna keep going because there's gonna be much more to add. There's gonna be much more to add to this, especially for, you know, because that's the proof right there. This video is the proof that it's real. Like, it's a big old, like, you can't just like listen to what someone's saying and listen to what someone's going through. That's real. You see all the similarities to it, but come on, you looking at the way someone puts up with something and then you go on to try to relate to what response that theirs is. No, it don't work like that. This is a very broad term. And when you come at something a much different way, hell yeah, no one's gonna give a damn about what you're doing, especially when it's like it's some new stuff. It looks weird, it looks different, you know. That ain't my problem though. So at this point, hey, who cares? Who cares if, okay, people aren't willing to get outside of a revolving door? Then all right, go ahead and be inside a revolving door. That's the part where it differentiates me from a lot of others. And then you try to give people benefit of the doubt because of where they came from, or, you know, how long they've been putting up with it, or, you know, certain things that they weren't able to look past or see past, or certain, you know, risks they weren't able to take. So that's differentials. A lot of people got into trouble because they have a big mouth. A lot of people got into trouble because they actually did stupid shit. A lot of people got into trouble because they know something and they didn't go about it the right way and they interrupted shit. Gangstalking has a lot to do about interruption. It's about interruption. You're interrupting stuff. Especially, it might even be something that's not even that high part of a position. They could be in a medium position and this is still interrupting stuff. So this goes into like tiers. There's tier interrupting going on. When it comes to things like you speaking on pandemic, you interrupting the law enforcement tier. And that's not even the highest tier. Because when you say something like that, come on, man. That's petty. That's petty. That's all it comes down to for those who speak on this. It's petty. For you to sit here and try to cause all these delusions and then go as far as actually going as far as even the speech stuff, because all that stuff is just a joke. All that stuff was just, come on. You think it only takes like 30 seconds to get a signature and stuff like that? You think that that's the main mission that we're sitting back and we're caring about? No, we don't give a damn. That was just something we threw out, took fucking 5 minutes to make that vid, bro. It's not about that. It's just watching that response and seeing, okay, well, this is proof of it. So now you could just go ahead and just put yourself in that and then put yourself somewhere else and then just show that. And then there's the proof right there. So everything you did just justified everything said. It like makes no sense. So you guys just like told on yourself. The people who like come on here and try to categorize, it won't work. And then once again, you know, use all this stupid shit to make it seem like this is the reason that this person has a title or some word that has nothing to do with who they are at all. No paperwork, nothing. No doctor. The doctor's trying to figure out what is going on. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. That's when it doesn't make any sense. The doctor is supposed to know what's going on. The doctor's not supposed to be confused. So you should stop confusing the doctor, because it's you confusing the doctor when you're over here trying to say that this person has this and the doctor's trying to figure out, well, how come I can't, Well, it doesn't. What the hell? It doesn't match the shit. So how is what you're saying even meaning anything? You know, that's what it all comes down to. So there's gonna have to be like a new categorization thing or something, you know, or different words, or you know, people might have to start, you know, communicating using different words or something now to really start proving some stuff. So we don't want to take it that far because we're actually being really nice. We're being really nice, being super nice. So it's showing yourself all vulnerable, all not even in a good mood and stuff like that. You know, just to show that this stuff isn't, you're not playing around with this stuff. Because that's when people get scared. When you could come on here, not give a damn about the way you look, not the way you, none of that, the way you sound, and none of that, and everything you're saying is real though. And then if you got some nerve to be, and then no pun intended, ain't that funny, yo? It's just crazy. No pun intended. That's wild, you know. That's when you see. It's like I'm not even joking. You think, you know, we can make all the jokes in the world. To act like this is something that's actually gonna like do something, and it's like no. So it's like the good news is with like this stuff like this, it gets fed up. You got to like at some point like drift this somewhere or something like that, because there's no way. You can clearly see people in a revolving door. I just can't, you know. That's the stuff, it'll drive you nuts. They ain't lying about that. So hell yeah, people over here showing other stuff, and you know, people over here knowing how to draw, knowing how to write, knowing how to make your music and all that stuff. So just keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to you if you want to go ahead and do, you know, eventually we'll get comfortable and do interviews if people want to, and do, you know, the phone call thing is a good idea and stuff to actually like speak about something real. But other than that, if it's gonna be some just like, you know, and we're beyond that. You know, we're way beyond that here. So, you know, and that this isn't even what this was supposed to be about. What this was supposed to be about is how there was more to the starting point. There was more to the starting point. So I know, like before, I'd say things like, "Oh, the disrespect, blah blah." I don't care. No, you can keep bringing it. It doesn't matter at this point. We're beyond that. It doesn't matter. Okay. So now we got to actually speak, and we're gonna have to force ourselves to incorporate things or other events that previously happened, but just do it in the right way, because everything that can be deemed trolling on here has not been trolling at all. Trust me, not at all. Any mean remark, anything, any nonsense, none of that has been trolling whatsoever on here yet. Trust me. When you go through things in real life, and it's easy to sit back and watch someone from afar and not see that angle of what they really went through and make your depiction of what they say on the internet, man, you got to be kidding me. People did stuff. People really did stuff. So this is this whole Waldo's Wonderland, trying to wonder, well, how does this person know this, and how did they even get into an ability to comprehend and speak stuff like this anyway? It's like, yo, people put up with stuff. And some people don't even have the nerve to even have the ability to put themselves up on the internet vulnerable, knowing there's people out here screen recording, doing all this stupid stuff, and trying to use stupid stuff to make it a certain way. And trust me, people are going to speak in a way where you can't even do that. That's how real it is. That's, you know, so we're just beyond that. We didn't even want to take it this far. So yeah, there's some other stuff. There's like there's like a pyramid scheme thing going on where someone's controlling the minute that you're gonna become aware of this event or this person at this time or some stupid thing. It's some new thing that they're doing. The scientists have got to understand where you're coming from when you say something like that. Someone who's huge into computer and technology has got to understand something when you're saying, has got to understand, you know, that. And no one's even said nothing about a science or a computer here. Nothing. No book and nothing. So you just comprehended the real stuff, and people can't stand it. All while just talking out the ass, really. You know, agree with that part. But shit, you're gonna try to go back to this and try to like find a little section to try to use and debunk, and all you're gonna do is just make people be like, huh, and then just have this whole other angle of stuff. of other stuff. That's not even close to even. That's way. You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked. Yeah, hell yeah, people have been on the internet for a long time, but man, what about the people who haven't been on the internet and you see all the crazy stuff that you're watching them do while you're on the internet? You, come on, bro. So that's all this is all about. It's just amazing the whole little, I don't know, little like Legend of Zelda dungeon stuff that you got to go through to just show people like, and all while like debunking all that like 5 times at the same time and shit. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. So, that's there's some whole other stuff, It's one of those things where it's almost like you can kind of speak for 7 different perceptions at the same time. So the minute you try to knock one perception, you have this other perception, someone can still be like, well, damn. And this vice versa. Can you do that though? No, this is why you get into gang stalking, freaking teams of people. Come on. So and then it doesn't get, it gets even further than that, because like this term is so broad, you're not even gonna get people even seeing what you're saying or the support or nothing like that. So it has nothing to do about that. Some are just looking at what's going on with them, seeing it their way, and then just using Google to just confirm it, and then come up with content to be viewed a certain way. And I don't give a shit about the views anymore. So don't get upset just because someone can showcase something else and then make it. I don't give a damn. Yeah, hell yeah. The only thing I could talk about basketball. So if anyone want to put me on and put me onto that, so you want me to shut up, then go ahead and get me something, and we'll get But other than that, then we're gonna keep talking then. Because that's funny. That's funny. No one use nothing over here. Talk about people. And they're trying to do this and you're doing the opposite when you're someone who has multiple channels, and you're speaking, and these channels are breaking down this stuff and trying to like, what do you call it? Do this whole categorization nonsense, That's what they're doing. It's like this whole thing explains the whole thing. So yeah, it's just weird. It's really weird being on this side of stuff. It's really weird being on this side of stuff. It's literally just a different awareness, breaking down the same thing in a different form. And so even when people who can relate to that can't understand that awareness or form, there's separation in that too. Does that make sense? It's separation. It's gang stalking. You unintentionally did it. You just showcased yourself. Because now, that's where you get into the gang. Those who get into that, and now they're gonna come up with their own perception, thoughts that could even be words from books that you're reading that someone else already used. Boom. Okay, that's a category. That's a categorization tactic. So you're just doing it unconsciously. You don't even know it. Like a lot of people just say that. A lot of them don't know what they're doing. That's how you break. Come on, man. See, none of the people that you interview or talk to can even break it. Talk like that. And trust me, if you think I'm the only person who can, this is nothing even smart got said at all. Nothing. You're hearing it right here. I didn't even say anything smart. It's like you're looking at what it is. That's what it is. So it's like, can we like get past it now? At least over here. Damn. Do some other stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Let me see if there's... I'm going to keep going a little longer though, because I'm going to just go ahead and end it. Let's go 2 hours. And see if anyone else hops on, just so we can end all the weird stuff. And then if people want to pick and point and come, and do stuff and break that down, then all right, that's the gang stalking. That's analyzing. Okay, let's come up with a new word and stuff. That's what we spoke on before. Let's use new words like Machiavellianism and all these side post articles that they come up with. I don't believe that. When people say things like, oh, we got a group of people and we put them in this room and we question, and this is how. No way, bro. They're doing neuroscience stuff on people. They have laboratories. It's not like they just really just got all these numbers and then just came up with a conclusion, and then that's no way. They had to do neuroscience on people who had to get surgery on stuff like that, man. They even, man, yeah, and all these words, you just got to be careful, man. That's crazy. Things will make sense in a bit. Things will make sense in a bit. Because that's one thing too, is just trying to not be trying to not to test the boundaries of those who you see where they're coming from, though. You're not trying to test those boundaries either. You became aware of something because of someone else. You didn't just become born and then you just knew everything and stuff like that. No, there were certain events that played out with certain people where you became aware because of these individuals. So that's where we get into the glitch, and that's where we get into people who do things differently than others. That's where we get into when others were speaking on race and stuff. That was never even brought up over here. No one, So I don't know about all of that. And it all just comes down to this jealousy thing. And it has nothing to do about the internet. This has something to do with someone knew something was gonna come about. In that someone left something talking about, sometimes this phrase is really just a representation of what could possibly happen and play a bigger role and change up systems years from now if this person is trusted individual, is what really should people be calling it. Is you're a trusted individual, not no target individual. You're a trusted individual. Dependent on if you can be trusted to stand on what you're saying, then what you're saying eventually is going to have to change something or change the system, right? Because other than that, why would there still be time spent with individuals who this trusted individual already put in the categorization, still using the same phrases and sequences to try to debunk? No, it will not work. So it's some whole other new stuff. That's what it is. It's some new stuff. When it's some new stuff, that's when you're going to end up using this word. And now you're going to have all these differentials and outcomes depending on the way they go about it. And then this is why you see victims say words like, oh, he's a perpetrator, oh, he's an agent, because of what they're doing to try to put this person in a category, what we just broke down, a categorization tactic. And so some people are so far beyond it, they just can't even categorize them. They just use new other words like non-investigative, whatever, subject and stuff like that. So these are all different phrases, and you notice how everyone's using all these different phrases. You're gonna notice titles from the same content creator that's got these different agencies names and stuff like that. That's where you'll see people come in who are obviously opposing it, saying you're causing disruption, you're causing confusion, because you can't just be here using that company or that insurance or that name of that representation and really act like you know what you're talking about. That's where you can agree with what they're saying, because you can't just talk out of your ass. But when it's a different on something like this, and they know that, you can't combat something like this and try to put it in those other categories that you put for other people. Nope, it won't work. That's why I was willing to share the two other channels I spoke on. That wasn't to cause nothing, but you see what happens though. And you see that, people didn't ask for you to do that, but say some things have got to be done so we can just, okay, let's stomp over that. And even the people who just realized they reached over that stomp, they don't even know the person who did that. That's what it is. That's gangstalking. So we're beyond it, man. We're beyond it at this point. It's really about what you do. It's just about what you do. You're the one who's willing to pay attention to that right now. That's what it is. But then they try to psych you and act like it's a loop. No, it's only a loop because you believe in this person saying it's a loop. It ain't no loop. Not if you don't make it a loop. It ain't a loop here. It's a loop some other places. This is why they're the ones who are being called out, and why the starting point wasn't this individual being called out. The starting point was this individual doing the calling out. Do you get it? There we go. Can't try to debate that. You can't. I know people don't like these words and stuff like that because of what comes with it, but that if that's what's got to be used over and over and over to get our point, well, damn, we're gonna do it then. And now I'm in a whole different space with this stupid word because I had something completely different that was supposed to be said. You know? I think it has a lot to do with like matching vibes, you know. This is why you'll see, we were talking about the whole pyramid thing before, where you'll see so many people speaking on this, but there's a reason you'll see people who kind of know how to side eye like more at one person, but it won't be as agreeable. So they'll kind of run to another person speaking on it because it gives them that cuddly, oh, this is not dark feeling vibe. And no one give a shit about that here. So I don't care. If someone else makes you feel better, go be with them. Because we're not beating around the bush here and talking about the way we feel. And, oh, it'll all be better. Well, it might not if you keep like, never mind. You know what I'm saying? So, you just got to keep going. Like, this is life. It's your life. That's what it is. It's your life. So why would you, like, break down your life being negative on some self-reflection tactic? That's what it is, especially if you know it's real. So it's like, it's a self-sabotage thing. So it's like, don't do that to yourself. That's all, you know? That's the way I look at it. Because other than that, there would be no other reason of someone, you know? And then on top of that, having other people involved with the people who are harassing this person try to make it seem like you, and then it's like you're not even on that tier with that person that you guys are going through the same thing, but it's like different shit. People were talking about they're going through this through 2014, and I'd be like, well, how did that happen? And you don't even really hear their story. I haven't come across anyone who spoke about this going through 2014, 2015, 2016, even older, you know, because I don't dig into people's stuff. So all I know is the starting point is, okay, it's on some government opposing pandemic stuff. That's it. But there's other self-control in it, though. That's where I'm talking about the pyramid scheme thing, where don't give like the confusion of when you're giving these agencies the benefit of the doubt, and just, like we said, talking out the ass and just being like, oh, and they're doing this to me and stuff like that. Well, I just know the starting point to mine, though. So I didn't go as far as contacting them. Because, people wouldn't have gotten shit done if you went that far. You weren't even trying to be patient. You were just like, man, listen, you would have not gotten shit done. You saw through that, and you just had to wait. And that's all it is, you know? But there's some other stuff going on. There's some other stuff going on where it's like there's this whole like swatting stuff that happened in this certain county. So it just things that trickle down. That's all it is. It was a trickle down effect. So if someone has an awareness that someone else can't comprehend, my fault, and it's gonna change the way this person's system is, and they're in the system, and it's slowly doing this trickling thing, the person who did that and started is gonna be affected, and that's gonna cause it. It's like that. I can't speak about it like It's like a pyramid thing that happened, and I was a part of it unintentionally, not knowing the outcome. Because when when this began 4.5 years ago, I was 23, midway through grocery manager job. So they have all these distractions to use to make it seem, and that's proof in the pudding too. Because people were over here able to get through that the whole 4 years and during the pandemic while going through it. This is why people can break things down and speak the way they're speaking. And just speaking the way they're speaking. It's just speaking. No one's teaching. No one's trying to prove anything. Well, this is the proof that no one is trying to prove anything. It's already been proven. It's already been proven. You're watching it. That's what it is. It's not anything else, really. It's like an ego trick. It's like an ego trick. If you keep, like, you have to get past the ego trick part of like talking about this is what's happening to me. This is what's happening to me. You got to realize this is happening to other people, and they each have different phases in their life with people in the same system, different way, doing the same thing, just in a different mechanism type stuff. That wasn't the right word. Not mechanism. That wasn't the right word. And that's all it is. This is big old what you gonna do? What you gonna do? That's all it is. You just notice things. No one's really been tripping, you know. But you notice other people tripping. I mean, yeah, there's been times where you're tripping. But that's the thing. You don't have to sit here and even act like that's the reason you tripped. Like I said, it's a psycho ego trick. It's a psycho ego trick. I hope that you just categorize and hope that you keep speaking about the same thing. And it doesn't have to be that way. So it doesn't work like that anymore. That's why, you see a lot of people just going live and doing their own thing, and hey, you can't hate on it. You can't hate on it, yo, because there's something that's got to be done at this point. You're gonna have to just come a different way on some stuff. You can't hate on it anymore. I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater at all. Any way someone's going about the way they're doing it, I'm not hating at all. You do it the way you're doing it, and I made sure to contact people and say, okay, is it cool if I keep this up? And if I spoke about them, they were like, yeah, okay. So any other, thing that needs to be said doesn't really matter. See if there's any more to add, though. People just check it out later, I don't even really like to go live talking about stuff like this, but you don't even know if it's something that that's where a lot of people be coming from too, is that if there's already people who've been speaking things and doing things, and you can only do so much to do your part. At some point you just have to be like, man, let me just go ahead and just take care of some other stuff, just do something else, so it's quite the phrase, quite the phenomenon, ain't it? Feelings and thoughts, that's all it really is, and just a system being played out, experimenting on feelings and thoughts. That's really all it is. This is a big old try to cause a delusion game. That's all it is, but luckily over here is like, you just gotta come a different, try some other, I don't know, you just can't. But anyway, let me see if there's much more to add. I gotta, like I said, no one's perfect. So we gotta touch base on things that were said, and but if it's really not a situation where anyone is even coming forth front to care about that, then maybe it doesn't even need to be spoken about. That's where a lot that has to do with this is a lot about reaction time. If you're someone who's really going to speak on this and it's going to be a back and forth game show, well, game shows have a lot to do with reaction time. And if you're not willing to defend yourself in the correct manner and quick, once you reach stuff like this, it's a wrap. You can speak though. You can speak, and that'll make a difference. But you, over here, we're kind of just past it. If no one's willing to comment solutions, if no one's willing to say, oh, this is what you can do better, this is this and that, well, you don't really know what to tell someone who is not willing to go that far. They're willing to, to speak on drama though. They're willing to have beef and all this ti beef. This is why I was like, just, you know, it's really not, it's people on here who, they don't even go on the internet and talk about it. You know, shout out to them and stuff like that. But it's a real broad thing. It's a real broad thing. All these terms. Some people try to act like and you got some people who lie, and say that they're part of something, and you don't even know if that's true. And just this whole, you know, trust is like trust. It's like a trust thing. I think it's about trust, and it's about how you go about the trust. It's almost one of those things where it doesn't matter the way you go about the trust, though. It's like that. It's hard to break it down. So people, that's the way it is. People ain't gonna understand the way things are here. People just aren't gonna understand, and that's fine. But, and let this be an example for those who just doing their own thing, and you keep doing what you're doing. You just keep doing it. You don't care about what the outcome is when it comes to things like this. But the way you do it is going to be dependent on the outcome. It's about the way you do it. Are you willing to get into an argument with this person at this point? You know, are you willing to be patient until this point? Is it worth giving this much energy and time to that situation? And it's just too easy to see through like why some things play out the way you do. And you scratch your head and wonder why the same people just can't see that you can see that already. And it's like, you know, so it's all about choice. It's all about choice. It's all about choice. This wouldn't be much of a difference maker rather than doing something with it instead of just talking about it. It's like that. That's where we get into the concept of it as it being a considered a disruption, speaking on it, because it's obviously real and people just don't know that while they go with it. Because other than that, there'd be no such thing as ranks. There'd be no such thing as order. There'd be no such thing as the military would have to be set up the differential between officers and what do you call it? Enlisted. So a word like gangstalking was used to create that system. But you don't get it. And then you build from that. And then that's where you get into people saying that this representation doesn't matter. Well, yes, it does. Because why is it going to matter the minute that you bring a new form into the world? When you're in that structure that you chose to be in, that has all these ranks and things, and now it's going to switch up the system, and there is a rank that you would find yourself more comfortable in because it's going to work for this a new awareness that you're in, that you created with another energy. So now you're willing to be this rank, and that's why when you'll see others who go along with whatever they're doing in their life become a higher rank. So you're the lieutenant, and now he's a captain or a major. It's ranks. They use that to create the ranks. So there's so many other different ways you can break it down, and people get upset. They won't understand. They won't support none of that. And who cares, bro? People don't want to hear the actual side of how it's actually worked and stuff. Instead, we would just do stupid drama nonsense that will just lead nowhere, and drama about, oh, this is where this person is. Okay, well, in order for this person and these set of people who are all going through this to get to a better thing, well, there's something that's going to have to be changed up, and that's what it is. But no one sees it that way. No one sees it that way at all. At the end of the day, what's the reason we're all doing this is for attention. So from now on, this is the first channel where you can clearly see that it's not even being done for attention, especially based upon the way it looks, how different it is, how scary it'll be for someone to join. Well, this is the living proof. So this is one of those things where you're gonna like not even like, damn, who can even do that? Where you truly don't even quote unquote look like you belong, but on the internet. But hey, you're just doing it though. You're just saying it though. It's one of those things, and people, when you don't understand something, you know, let's not even because none of this is even intimidating. That'd be weird. This isn't even intimidating either. It's just none. It's not. It's just people don't understand something that's different. So what you got to do is like you unconsciously come up with these forms that you already learned from someone else's mind that you were willing to read a book and go on Google about and stuff like that, right? And you guys already understand that concept. This person you're listening to doesn't. Well, they do, but they're not using that concept. So that's what you guys unconsciously understand, and now you're gonna watch. That's gangstalking. It's not like we're sitting here, but then you see all the things that come with it. That's where you see all these channels and everything. Where I'm not looking at it that way. I'm not looking at it. Oh, well, hell yeah, you'll record something and you'll throw something up, for people to see or whatever. But if you really think that's the way people are thinking, and people are over here paranoid, no, give me a break. People are over here different. That's what it is. That's what it all comes down to. This categorization nonsense shit ain't gonna work here, bro. So there can be like different, little things going on, where you see people kind of doing the same thing, and that's not to say that it'll probably work better than the way someone else is going about something. It's not about that. It all just comes down to it's real. It's a categorization tactic. That's the way I look at it. And this will be good to get up too. That way, if no one really, because at this point, if it's really time to just move on to things and stuff like that, then this is a good thing to do. This is a good thing to do, because you're starting to slowly see that you don't really need someone. You really don't need to be someone even speaking about this. Really, I'm slowly starting to see that. Like, okay, well, why am I even speaking about this if I already got my surgery done? So why am I speaking about this? And on top of that, everyone else is just like speaking about it their own different way on this self-sabotage stuff. So it's almost like you saying that you self-sabotage yourself more. It's like dumb. Like, it's everyone can relate to that. Where it's like this big old self-sabotage, try to make you look vulnerable nonsense. And if, hey, I'm doing it right now, so it can't go any further than that, so it won't matter at this point. We can just move on from it over here. Because a lot of people were able to reach that level way easier than me. It was real hard to reach this level for me to actually just film and record, because I look at it as like, who cares? But now it's like one of those things where it's the same shit if I were just not here talking to anyone. It's the same thing, so who cares? That's the way I look at it. And then, once you're done hitting record and shit, you can move on to what's next and stuff like that. And not, but this is one of those things where you can't be phony and sit here and not talk about it, especially if you could break it down in a way where, hey, something to watch is something to watch. Especially, you can't just allow people to say whatever, bro. No. You can't allow people to just say whatever. So it's easy. It's easy to accept whatever reaction people can give you. Because at the end of the day, people, shit, that's a broad word. That's a broad word. We'll go 10 more minutes. because I don't think anyone's gonna hop on this because it's like school night and stuff like that. And not only that, I think it's just people just kind of getting tired. We're just tired over here. Actually, we're tired speaking on this. You know, nothing to do about results at this point. When it comes down to something that there's something else you're trying to do, it has nothing to do about results. When you're breaking down something that you don't care about the results about it, and this is one of those things. The results you're supposed to care about are the things that you care about. I don't care about gang stalking, but that's the ego trick where what do you mean you don't care? Your whole every title that you're speaking about has that title. That's the ego trick. It's an algorithm. So then even the AI stuff that whatever, because I don't want to talk about that people be talking about is the whole psyche thing. For those who want to get on here and talk about it, okay, then let's do the ego trick where, okay, throw something that way and then do it this way. It's to hope that you just talk about it that way and not focus on that anymore. That's the ego trick. But some people can't, well, yeah, and some people can't catch that or don't want to catch that. And then that's when we get into narratives and people talk about sellout and stuff like that, which I don't even know about any of that. That's all just a bunch of distraction stuff that doesn't allow you to understand how this came about and what started it anyway. Separation is about separation. You'll notice, a lot of people who go through things like this and they're willing to put themselves out there, the reactions and responses are people from they're separate, they're from different areas. So you still the only thing you relate to is gang stalking. That's it. That's all. It's not about anything else. And then you got to do the whole kill so many birds with a stone when you see, but that you're so far beyond it when the only thing is just some word that some other people used that they're trying to use to categorize. It's all categorization at the end of the day. So I'm gonna make that the summary for any opposer. It's just gonna end up just being using external features. You can't do that. You can't use characteristics. You can't use the way someone looked. You can't use, oh, look at his body and all of this stupid physical stuff. You can't use none of that over here. You can't use none of the physical stuff over here. And this is coming from someone who hasn't even said the S word yet. That whole bandwagon that started this 2019 stuff anyway. That's what started it. A comment on someone's thing. This person was going through it too, but just did it in a different way. This is why we don't say names. That's the confusion. And then that's when we get into if you're really going to be going through this, don't take the view count thing seriously at all. You're not supposed to care about that. Because that's all delusion, deception, illusion stuff that you don't even care about that. I don't care how many people's watching. I do not care. I don't care how many people watch after. I don't care. No, that's not what it's about. When you see people consistently talk about that and veer off and not speak about this anymore, okay, that's when you get into that word that we spoke about before. And who cares? That's their thing. Hey, shit, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. But I mean, the proof's in the pudding, though. Eventually, they say things like, well, the truth always comes out to light. Okay, so no, you can't even use that to debate. Oh, that's not truth. That's not truth. No one said it was. What we said is that what was going through is real. And that's the proof. We didn't say truth over here. We said proof. That's it. Hey, it might be synonyms though, I think, right? Kinda. So I don't know. It's gonna be hard for anyone to, try to use a name and title on this one. It's easy to screen record other shit that you don't know why this person put this up, though. Maybe would have been a reason to know something like this in the future would have happened. Hey, a lot of people are thinking about the future. We're not thinking about what happened before. We're thinking about the future. So how about that? Instead of doing this whole, let's try to make this a world star hip hop shit, and it's not worth being that. No one over here said this little 2-minute, all you gotta do is sign a paper and screenshot stupid shit wasn't even supposed to be nothing worth you covering. And we don't give a damn about you covering that anyway. Because that wasn't even the point. So it's like you can see where you're coming from without you even knowing why you're coming from that, what you're doing that, and you're doing it for some other person. That is you unconsciously doing what the title of this video is. So you can't, and then you can't use that tactic either. You can't be like, oh, this is self-reflection. No, because I'm literally speaking to you, the one who participated in this, and you don't even know you're participating in it. So yeah, some of you gonna have to run this back for people who catch it, and then like kind of combine the different sectors that you spoke on. And bro, ball don't lie. So there's nothing else you can do. Yeah, there is stuff they can do, and you guys see it. That's all it comes down to. We have 5 more minutes. Let me give a summary, because that's a summary. The whole video was a summary. And for those who witnessed like the 30-minute mark or whatever, that's the definition of what it was. And broke it down, did it in a way where no one had to get, so whatever. Just a whole bunch of like ridiculousness at the end of the day. But I mean, if we can just get past this, then that's when you're going to see new stuff happen. Not positive, hopefully positive, negative, but it's going to be something new. That's what it is. A word being used to describe the change. And then, people like to get upset when you use words like energy and frequency. Well, let's not use those words anymore. But there's a change and there's something being caused to make this difference. So, and if you don't want to use, that's the word though. And if someone can understand that, then that's when we get into, okay, well, this has to be something that is going to have to be looked at from afar. You're still looking at it. So just all it is, okay, gangstalking. Why is it that some people are being attacked speaking about this and some people are not? Because some people are in that paranoia, not even unconsciously knowing it plays out like looking like paranoia. But that's what it is. So these people will be attacked, the ones that are playing out paranoia, not unconsciously knowing that even if they're not being paranoid, that's what it looks like though. Especially when they're able to manipulate and put the shit there. So when people can hop out of that, that's when they don't know how to combat you like the way they're doing to them. And they can't do that over here. It's just stupid. Because it's a whole new thing. It's new. That's all it is. No one played out paranoia over here. No one played out no schizophrenic. People spoke. And the minute you see their combat not being on what is spoken about, and it's a different form, then bro, you don't know how to debate. Plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? And I actually do got stuff to do. So, we're gonna probably just go ahead and wait a bit and see if there's anyone else that wants to hop on. Because I really want to just kind of clear the whole thing. Yeah, I don't give a damn if this is one of those things where you can just go ahead and just cut the ice. Usually the icebreaker person, when it comes to things like this, they're not going to have no one really, having anything to say. They're just going to kind of wait and see what's said and then probably just take it and go somewhere else with it, honestly, too. Depending on the way you're someone going, speaking about this. Because you're someone going through this who has a whole different angle that other people can't see while relating to the same thing. That's the difference about this. So I'm starting to realize when I spoke about pyramid spiritual scheme and the differential between religion and the astrology and all that stuff that were being mentioned, okay, I'm realizing that the people that I thought were aware of this thing that's being deemed a phenomenon, which is real, aren't aware of the starting point of the individual that you even gained comprehension skills about something like the pandemic that came from something like astrology. So it's some other stuff right here, there's some things I got to speak on too, and just things like the community, like post tab, I said things like, people mentioning other channel names, and This channel hasn't even been mentioned yet. So any other channel that's been mentioned, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And this person that you're mentioning knows that you don't know what you're talking about too. So you just got squashed. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Any channel that has been mentioned on this channel so far that you think is a channel that has anything to do with the starting point of some doxing thing, you have not said the right channel yet. You can shut up. This channel knows too. So this channel is wise enough to look at me right now and say, yes, you are right. This person's a dumbass. Every comment that they're leaving is stupid. Under your shit. Trying to affiliate you as, oh, this is you're working for this. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know anything about anyone here. Except for the title of the vid and what it is. That's it. So this person, you could just sit back and just look at what they're doing and be like, damn, you're dumb. You just you want attention. You don't care about the actual thing. And you realize, like, damn, a lot of you will end up realizing, dang, in the beginning, I kind of was a little bit like a distraction piece of shit. Yeah. Let's not sit here and act like, yeah, bro, you people did stupid shit too, though, here. You know? But we took accountability. That was a while back, 2020, 2019, the starting point of this. And we spoke on how things were allowed to happen. That's it. That's all. So now we can sit here and bring things together and kind of figure out, okay, what we know something, because there was this correspondence that happened back then, this dumb little antic that happened that allowed you to be like, dang, okay, there's something funny going on. This person knows something, but we still didn't push it as far to even say names, because we understand people built things from the ground up, and people love to tear things that people built from the ground up. People love to do things like that. People love to watch and collaborate a bunch of people, this and that, and do all this whole think you're being a wizard witch nonsense, and you're not. It's weak and stupid, and we see through it. And even the people you're mentioning who are wondering, well, how am I being affiliated with this, are looking at you stupid, not the person who may even have been affiliated with something or shown support to something a while back. That's not the point. So this, yeah, it's like aggravating, honestly, like just speaking about this stuff on the internet. But not anymore. Not anymore, though. To me, it's all about, okay, well, let's just start something new then. Let's just start something new then. Let's just do something new. But it's just easier to talk. It's just easy to say things, you know? So yeah, you start to see that not everyone sees where you're coming from at all. You start to see that. And you can't blame people for that. It's up to you. It's up to you. So we're going to get there. It's about the trust thing. We're going to get there. You can't just be, okay, yeah, this. Okay, let me just be there. I mean, say it. Some people are really like that. That's where we get into the differential of the way people grew up and upbringing and stuff like that. That's why you see people say things like, oh, I was targeted at birth and stuff like this. And then you start to see people come to the realization of that. That's all just words, though, to me. You just start to see, okay, there's a different way I could have played that out previously. Let me just do something different now. Let me just look at it a different way now. Let me take care of the things I need to take care of a different way now. Instead of just, I understand we're all doing, like I said before, everyone's got their own way of talking about what they're talking about. Everyone's showing stuff, bro. It ain't about that. At this point, I think it's better to talk about this stuff in real time. Than it's better to talk about this stuff in real time. And, from now on, yeah, it's something else, man. Some whole other stuff. Some whole other stuff here. You can't speak about this term, which is a good thing. It's good. It's good that over here a term like this isn't going to get us supported as much. Good. That's good. That's actually a good thing. It allows you to know, okay, you're not in the trap then of people who might have to be forced to be entrapped to speaking about this forever. If they can't comprehend or understand anything that's been said, at least in this video once, that had nothing to do, no one spoke on no radio, no one spoke on a device, no one spoke on none of that here in this whole live yet. And we have the title of this vid. So that says something. This says that this is a whole different angle being looked at. Man, I'm spinning. My bad. Being looked at this right here. It's a whole different angle being looked at with this right here. Then. Because you already see that. You already see that angle. You already broke that down. So that's regurgitation. You already, that's that word. That's what that is. Is you repeating the same thing over and over. So books are good. No, we people do read books over here. We do like books, but we're just saying when it comes to a debate over this right here and these books you're using that were already created, that no, it won't work because you're debating someone you're studying. How is it gonna work like that over the thing that is is the study? That phrase, the thing we're debating, that person you're debating is that, and you're watching that person. Come on, bro. Yeah, that's what it means. That's what the thing means. Because this person that can be studied, or even these people who are part of this, if you want to still not believe and pretend to be blind to the fact of this word, could just go and just up and do their own thing and just glitch do a glitch. It's a glitch. Things happened and the outcome wasn't even supposed to be good, probably, and it was a glitch. It's like that. So, and it's tough. It's, yo, when you're someone who's over here speaking about this, it's so easy to wait till the video's done and then leave with some stupid shit talking about the way they look and all this, their eyes and dumb stuff, right? But the viewers don't understand. Well, really look at that. Not only did this person break down, this person going through it broke it down, proved it. This person also has to just put up with the freaking hell of just being willing to do that. And they don't even understand that space. So it's just easy for them to be like, duh, 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 and then just say whatever they feel and just keep it moving. It's really easy to do stuff like that. Especially when a lot of these people, it all comes down to attention and they just want attention and feed off attention. Yet the person who can see that side of it, not give a damn about that part, too easy. You can just admit it. That's what it all comes down to. So it's a big old illusion where the ones who really went through this and can break it down, they're winning because they look like the ones who want attention. They don't give a damn about it, and they're breaking it down with the attention seekers, feeding off that and showing themselves, proving that they're trying to create categorization tactic. That's what it is. The whole thing, yo, the whole thing. The whole thing. Because then you got to peep that individuals who speak on this, obviously the 50-50 of them don't like that. Don't. And they're just waiting for something to use on the next one. No. So we're going to wait and see if, just wait a little longer. Because it's this whole pre-planned thing. It's this whole pre-planned thing. And sometimes you're going to have to come different ways. Sometimes, a lot of you are going to have to start, writing things down instead of, just a little. It just kicked me out. I don't know if it's even live still. So let me see. There's much more I can add. I want to get it all out. I want to get it all out. That way there's no more live on this. I want to get it all out. I want, there's really nothing more else to be said except for just future planning. That's what it is, future planning. So all these words, all these terms, all these different corporations that people be speaking on, and this happened, and just the little events that happened are all just words that other people went through, but you did it in a different glitch. It's like, it was just like a different way. You just came a different way. You're like a whole new different thing. Because other than that, what is being used to harass people and all this stuff is a lot of the things that you're into unconsciously, and you're trying to think, well, how do they even know about that and stuff like that. It's like some self-reflection thing. It's just weird. And I'm not going to sit here and break down and use all these words that other people who are being tricked into like these debates and stuff like that. And we already spoke on all of that. So we're past that. That, you can't categorize someone in that. You can't do that. That doesn't work like that. This whole word that you're using and then like having it in a category, man, I don't know. Because at some point, there are still going to be people who come across this way, not believe in it, not agree with it at all, and that's cool. But you still see some other things that's being said, like, hey, bro, can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't really argue that. You can see that, you know. So that's all it really comes down to, you know. See if there's anything else that needs to be said. It's just about, you know, it's real, and it's easy to break this down when you're someone who understands all the faults and things you're going through, obviously, you know. So at this point, you don't even care. You don't even mind if people know this and that, because you're just like, you look at it and you're like, okay, yeah, that's true. So like, what are you trying to do with that, you know? So it's like really hard to try to like, once you can really make someone in a vulnerable position, put them in a position where you don't need to care or no reactions are being given. This allows them to just, okay, good, this is a vulnerable position, let me just go ahead and speak on everything that I feel like needs to be said, and then anyone else who even gives a damn can just take it, and then anything that they felt was you know, confusing or didn't understand, well, you can understand a little more why this person comes this way. You know, this isn't something people like to talk about. And you would think that people who are going through this would be wise enough to, even if they don't understand what's being said, to at least be like, well, dang, yeah, this is still something that's gonna, you can understand why someone's even this way. Even if you don't agree with what they're saying, you know? At least I know how to give people the benefit of the doubt like that. People who choose to speak on this, you know, if there's something I don't agree, but you can still see that they're going through it, well, damn, I ain't gonna hate on them though. You know, you don't have to agree, you don't have to engage, but I ain't gonna hate on them. People, we're all different, so hell yeah, this is a first live where I'm just like, definitely didn't feel like going on, or feel like crap, but gonna go on just so, okay, at least once you could do something like that, put yourself in a more vulnerable position. Now anything else I do further on from here, piece of cake. And it'll be some, you know, inclusion stuff, like not making it some, because we thought that we were past this, honestly. But if not, and there's some things that people should know that they need to know, then they should know. Then maybe there should be hints being thrown out or something, because I don't need to throw no more hints. Whatever content creator that people are leaving under here and saying you work for this and nonsense, you don't know what you're talking about, and this person was wise enough to know you don't know what you're talking about. So that didn't work either. Categorization tactic didn't work. Come a different way. And trying to just be a part of other stuff just because you want to do something for whatever it is you're doing. That has nothing to do with any of this anyway. All it has to do with is we're not over here trying to relate. All it has to do with it's real. Because people who are putting up a real thing about it and are getting upset about people who may think it's confusing or muddying the waters, they're being looked at like it still ain't real and they're foolish. And the way they're looking is, oh, they're this title and they're this name and stuff like that. Oh, all right then. At this point, don't get upset. You just, at this point, it is one of those things where you don't like what's being said. You don't like you can take what's being said. You don't like the person saying it. That's what it is. You can, especially for people who can relate. You can relate to everything that's being said. You just don't like the person saying it. Okay, I don't care then. I don't care. I do not care, because it needs to be said at this point. And then you'll see things hop out of nowhere. You see things hop out of nowhere. You're doing this because of this and that, and then you don't even know why. Why are you even saying that? And instead of just understanding what's being said, that's where we get into the separation of a brand you couldn't even get along with. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, because I've been going for a minute, but that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the root and the starting point of it. I'm not coming from, let me show you guys this and that. Listen, that's already been done. I don't care anymore. We already did that on the live, so we don't need people coming out of the woodworks now making a vid talking about this has been happening to me for this long and look at this proof. You can see the shit in the background, so you don't even need to call it that term. That's what I'm saying. There's people who do it every day. They don't use his name and title. They do other stuff, and you can see it in the background. That's what it is. I use that word, trusted individual. So you can be so, yeah, but it's just too late though. When it comes to things like this, you already, it's already a title and stuff like that. Keep it moving and just stand your ground. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. You know what you're saying ain't delusional, but then the minute you don't stand your ground and you're letting other things make a dictation in the way you're gonna speak about this the next time, hey, then it's gonna be easy. Watch how quick someone pop up with the delusion and put it there, and now you're gonna be all frustrated and not know how to put up with it. No, you're gonna have to stand your ground. That's what it is. You're gonna have to trust yourself. That's what it all comes down to. And then even if the responses or the reactions or the support ain't what you wanted, it don't matter. You weren't doing it for that anyway. So that's the differential between this. Let me see. Let me see. And that's where we're gonna get into. Yeah, anyone that you see even using other names, because the only reason you would throw out hints of someone of why you're upset knowing that someone played a role in this nonsense is because they won't even come clean and they know what they and at least give me something. You gotta understand, like you're just over here thinking that people can just automatically, oh, well, you're not a, come on, man, like really, you're not a part of this because you didn't say this and that, and you gotta see, well, people had to put up with something, man. People had to put up with something, and not only that, when there's hints and you're thinking at first, like, dang, I thought we were on the same team. We come from the same thing. The starting point of this was the same awareness and understanding, okay, what we're seeing in front of us is phony. But then when you see another part where it's on some, like, it looks like it's some prevention tactic thing, and you're like, what? Why? That's weird, though. So was this a whole thing to actually prevent someone from getting what they got done? And now you're worrying about whether someone's going to bring something to the light about it or something, and it might reach. That's the point that we're going to reach. That's what we're getting to here. Is that, but it doesn't have, but it'll be irritating at first, and you're going to be upset. But it's going to be something that needs to be done, and it will change something, though. It's like that. Because people still confused in how to get things done. So it's a categorization thing. It's a trust categorization thing at the end of the day. It's got to be that. I'm gonna give it 2 more minutes and I'm gonna head out. Yeah, it's all just about trust. That's all it's all about. Because it's all about trust and what you put your attention to. You don't have to give. There's something that's causing you. It's an ego trick. There's something that's causing you to want to get attention. Put your face. And a lot of people know they're not doing it for attention. A lot of people were speaking on this. Okay, they're not doing it for attention at all, because they're showing pure things and they're really trying to make a difference. And that's why people are coming the way they're coming here. They see that. So they don't need to do that part. They already did that portion. This shit has been debunked already, man. There's a whole different way someone else is coming here. Any troll that you've seen on anything on here is not close to the difference maker and the person who really doing things. You know? Groups and stuff like that. So it's just about what you pay attention to. It's what you pay attention to. Take some time off to go like watch a movie or something, especially if you've been spending too much time like listening and just speaking on things like this. You have to find some new music to listen to and stuff like that, but keep doing what you're doing. Though that ain't to say stop. No, because don't. If you're a real person who's going through this, don't stop at all. But I'm just saying, you can clearly see it's the way, because if they're going to be over here categorizing and stuff like that, and you're in this category and you're trying to wonder, well, how am I in this category with these people that for some reason y'all can't even get along and have beef? So that doesn't make any sense to me. That's what I'm trying to say. Well, obviously you can't categorize someone here. Then you can't. Yet this person is clearly going through the same thing that any other person has in that category is going through. So there's some other stuff then. You know, and that's just you being you. That's just you knowing. A lot of people who go through this, you are, you know, someone who's set apart and outcasted, and it's obvious. But who, you know, it doesn't have to be obvious. It doesn't have to be a thing where it's this whole sorrow. You know, share your story. Hell yeah, that's your experience. We can see where you're coming through. Okay, cool. Let's keep it moving now. We have. Well, that's where I'm coming here. We have to. And I know it's a bunch of phases and stuff. So there's people who's going through phases. You know. And ages and stuff like that, but at some point you just gotta move on though, and come a different way. And you know, you try different things, and it is one of those things where people weren't feeling it. If you ain't feeling the energy, you can see, you know, you can you know that, you know, there's no problem with that. You can understand that. You're not gonna get upset with people, you know, being in that situation. You can relate to what they're saying, but they ain't feeling the energy. Hey, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But I'm kind of shocked. I'm actually low key waiting for a troll, and I'm shocked that they didn't show up. I was expecting it, but they didn't because, you know, there's really nothing to say. There's nothing to troll. Nothing was funny. And it's weird. It's really just about, you know, your intuition too, because you're not expecting things that you expected, to hope that you were able to say what you wanted to say, because it would have been easier for it to come out that way too. So now it's one of those things where, okay, well, maybe it ain't even that important to say. Why even say it and cause this whole thing that would deem a word like this too? Especially when you can get yourself into a situation where you don't need to speak on it anymore and you proved it. That's what this is then. This, it's a line now. You just created the line. From now on, that's the line. You proved it, and you don't need to speak on it anymore. Over here. And for those who are doing their part, keep doing their part, and we'll keep supporting and stuff. But you can clearly see where someone at this point can be at that point, though. It can't. It can't. What else is there to be said? So now it's going to come down to what makes people feel comfortable. That's what it's all going to come down to. Which is fine, you know. People find other things that they're comfortable listening to and speaking to, and, you know, relating to. Not over here. I don't care. I don't care about relating to someone. I don't care about what makes you comfortable. I care about what's the facts. I care about what was just happened, and you just saw that happen. That's what I care about. It's not about relating and what makes you feel comfortable. No one's been comfortable over shit, over stuff. They talking about speaking on this. You know that you haven't been comfortable if you're speaking about this. You haven't been comfortable. You probably haven't even been relating to anyone either. You've just been saying what you felt needed to be said. Plain and simple. So yeah, this broke the whole thing down. There, people just were able to see through things for a longer time and were able to trust themselves for a longer time. It's a differential between those, because why would you have terms like this whole TI thing and chosen? And this is just things that are being questioned. And people don't like it when you question things like this. People get upset. Okay, let's run away because this looks dark and scary now. Go then. But this is things that needs to be said. What is the differential between that? Why is that a differential? Why are these phrases being used? Why were these trends in 2020 that came upon, and you hop onto that little energy thing and then you go with it, and that's what you saw people do, and it's just, you say that, and now you're the bad guy for saying that because it's true. And people did it in a different way. So how are you going to get upset when now we bring things like religion and astrology and stuff into that? And there we go. People are going to get upset about that because people come from different areas. People are Christians. People, you know, and going through this, yet while knowing Christians do it though. This title, the Christians, that's a categorization tactic. Okay? When you have someone who's in a church and they're gonna give you a book that has the devil horns and stupid stuff on there, and they're trying to categorize you. What the hell? What gave you the nerve to think that you could even do that? That's weird. That's categorization stuff. So I don't. When you're someone who's going through this, it's a broad word. You can't take the church thing seriously. No, I can't. I like the church. I have nothing wrong with church. I went to church. The church is a good thing. It creates discipline, practices. It's a good thing to do. It's community oriented, and that's the way it should be. But the minute that you see is gossip built upon it, and now it's this narrative. Oh, you're going through this. Let's create this narrative, and you don't even look at it that way, but you just see them do that though. You've never had a problem with the church. You never had a problem with a cop. You never had a problem with an agency. You never had a problem with a computer nerd. You never had a problem with all of your coworkers. It was never that. You just witnessed that definition is you. That's what it is. You were set apart. It's a proof. That's it. That's all it is. And you look at things a different way. You say it a different way. And, people who want to choose to oppose, unless they can clearly see what you're speaking about. And so at this point, for them to even want to act like an enemy is delusional too. For these people to act like they're your enemy now and create narratives, that's delusional. You're showing your hands now, because you're not no enemy. You just hopped on here on some, okay, you disagree stuff, but you're not an enemy, and you don't hate me either. So stop playing that stuff. You don't hate me. There's no reason for anyone to hate anyone here. Unless there's a reason that you tried to do something in the beginning and it didn't work. And that's the starting point I'm coming from on this 2019, 2020. Oh, you're aware of what I'm aware of, so let me try to do this nonsense. Now what? Now what are we going to do? Bullshit. And all you had to do was just say, okay, stay in your goddamn lane or something like that. Instead of thinking it was cute and shit like that. And especially knowing this person was trying to help. But listen. What can you learn from helping people where they didn't ask for your help? You can learn a lot of positive things and you can learn a lot of negative things. It doesn't mean what you did was a bad thing, but you'll just learn. That's all I'm saying. You'll learn. You'll learn from helping people who never asked for your help. And they can see you were clearly trying to help, and they may have thrown out hints of, caring that you actually cared that you were helping, but then you see this whole other nonsense talking about, and then you just whole prevention tactic, terrorist nonsense bullshit, bro, and you're like, where did this come from? Because of the way you look or something stupid? Like, that's stupid. So that's why people here need to sit here, and even if they externally look stupid, need to do stupid shit to make it, to help you realize that it ain't stupid though. That's the starting point of this stuff. So this starting point has got to be some starting point people can't see, especially if you're someone speaking on this and you can't comprehend it. Because if you someone back before 2019 going through this, so pandemic didn't play a role, government shit didn't play a role. So some of you who went through this, you just committed a crime probably. But was it truly you actually speak on something intellectual though, or was it you were set apart, but you made a mistake and then you got caught up on something? It could be that too. Because how can it be where the way you're coming isn't even close to the way that someone else is coming, where they're yapping for 2 hours on this thing? But for the most part, a lot of you have been. So you got to know where someone coming from. You got to. So this all comes down to, oh, okay, this is some ego trick. At the end of the day, people just talking because they want to be seen a certain way. No, hell no. Not here, hell no. So I don't care. People can say whatever they want now. And what can you say if you're someone opposing? And on top of that, if you're someone going through it, what can you say if you want to say something that is like, what? I get where you're coming from though, because people be different, bro. People be different. You got to get your space and do this shit from afar. And whoever they don't feel comfortable, hey, I don't blame you. This ain't comfortable. This ain't for you to be comfortable at all. This ain't for you to be comfortable. So this is some opposite shit where you're not gonna even get no responses and stuff. You're gonna have to take it for yourself and see for yourself. But just know that it's real. It's got to be. Whatever your reaction is, that's what it is. It's whatever your reaction and action is. Because don't sit here and act like if you weren't putting anything on the internet, your outcome in what it is you even want to get done anyway. What truly even is your motivation? What truly is your endpoint? It's like that. We got to start talking like that now, and you're gonna have to start doing things different if we want to, reach better places. So all that stuff is distraction. Any troll comment that you've seen that mentioned another channel name, that's a distraction. They don't know what they're talking about. That name's channel that got mentioned, they're wise enough to be like, okay, yeah, that person don't know what they're talking about. So luckily, things like this can help you, you know, understand that people understand too. Thank goodness. So you don't need to say no name or none of that. Because that's all distraction stuff. The minute that any small channel that says a big channel name, and this channel has over 100,000 subscribers, I believe, why are you saying that person's name? That's what I think. Until you can reach a point to finally be, because things will need to be said sooner or later anyway. If we're talking about starting points, and if we're trying to finally reach a trust point to where we can actually kind of speak on some real stuff now, instead of having to backtrack and talk about this title. And that's what I'm talking about. And I'm sorry for those of you who are going through this. I feel for you. I am beyond it, though. I am beyond it. I've got to be beyond it now. I can't picture myself after this live and being wise enough to see that there's no responses, nothing that anyone else can throw, because you know that okay, I have to be wise enough to be like, there's something, we need to push something else. Then we need to go forward with something then, because that's not wise. You got to be wise enough to see, okay, there's no responses or nothing, there's no reactions. Okay, that allows you to know, okay, what you're doing doesn't need to be done anymore, because this is live. And to look beyond anything that you're seeing that's on some physical stuff. Just look at what's being said. That's it. It's some new stuff. It's like a new change in things. There's a new change happening. People call it a new shift. That's what it is. And so you're monitored to see if you're trusted in that, with whatever is going to be new. That will change something, because the system needs to be changed. If you see people over here that not being paid off productivity, and instead of paying this person off productivity, you're paying them, you're trying to do some slick shit and make it look like, and try to lower them back to what someone else needs to be, and so now they need to work slower, and now you're facing repercussions over something the person previously, who didn't have the awareness you have, this person didn't even work close to what you were doing and taking 3-hour breaks. And now that you're someone who's able to get away with doing that, oh, well, you need to change it and stuff like, nah, we're not going to do that. So Gangstalking exposes that easily. That organized mobbing thing, way too easy to expose. We were beyond that. We could have easily, but it's just too late. You see people going through it though, but they don't have that background to break it down. So that's when we got into people trying to do this whole indirect race thing. That don't work here either. That doesn't work either. So this video is some different stuff. This is different. And it's not comfortable at all. I'm not comfortable at all speaking about this. I don't look comfortable at all. I'm not. This is not comfortable. To have your face over here talking about this and giving a little piece of you not knowing what it's really going to lead to. But you know, it's gonna bring awareness to something. It needs to be done. You know, so we'll be a little more calm. Because I'm real tense right now. You know, I don't like speaking on this stuff. But you ain't supposed to. You ain't gonna be comfortable speaking on this stuff. You ain't gonna be comfortable speaking on this stuff. So you ain't supposed to be comfortable. But we got our point across on this. That's for sure. Using all these names and titles to categorize, and it just won't work. But I wanted to go back to what the change is the pandemic, and it played a role, changed the way we're going about things right now. And that's what it is. That's what the thing is. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince anyone of anything anymore. But that's my starting point. That is 100% my starting point. And you will see these people who want to, I don't know what they're doing, mention other channels that understand that too. And they built those things from scratch and stuff like that. And so we know, we're wise enough to know not to try to incorporate and cause this confusion stuff. But there's some stuff going on. And of course you're going to be upset about some things that happen and you're not understanding, well, tell me what it is you need. Tell me it is what you want. Like, what's going on then? That's all. There was some other stuff. So, you know, I know people have got their own different things that are going on, man, but things are really weird right now. Things are really weird right now. You're trying to question why some people are doing the things they're doing, why they're commenting that, why are you commenting that person's name? Okay? That person you just commented, even if he didn't see it, and if he did see it, he's smart enough to know, okay, this person who commented that's stupid. Because that's not going, you know, so we can both look at each other and be like, okay, that person's stupid, and just keep it moving. So whatever it is that you tried to do to cause this tension, enticing nonsense, it's not going to work. That didn't work either. It's like dumb, stupid. Because it has nothing to do with the title of the vid. It had nothing to do with the live, so it's like dumb. So that's dangerous. That's dangerous when you can clearly tell someone that you're using all these other content creators' names for attention, and it doesn't matter. And we already spoke on it. It doesn't matter what even reason you're doing it. That is really who you are. That's sad. That's sad. That's sad. You'd rather be someone put up with something going on in the title of it than be someone like that. That's sad. So really, like, just like really look at the people who you're surrounded by, and you guys are getting irritated and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, shit, there's like it's almost like a receive and give. Like, you know, yeah, you're putting up with this, but damn, you just looking at who they are, and you're like, shit. Yeah, you know, yeah, sure, you wouldn't wish upon this upon someone, but at the same time, man, just look. And that's just talking. That's just talking. You don't even care about stuff like that. You really don't. You just find yourself having to put yourself in a position to speak like this because people go out of their way to make things seem a certain way it's not. Let me see if there's some more I want to add. I think I'm going to go ahead and end it there.